If you are looking for a deeper understanding of yourself and the universe, you've been drawn to the right place. Well, welcome back to another episode of Sacred Science Podcast. We are really excited today because we're going to be talking about the flower of life. This is a topic that I didn't know much about, and just to show you all before we even get going to kind of a visual as I start sharing, this is an example of the flower of life. And Nirmala started to share this with me, I don't know, a month or two ago. And I heard her speaking about what this geometry is really showing and how it really, to me, like it got to the essence of everything. What we cycle through in this life, the journey we're meant to have, that our soul is on, the lessons we're meant to learn, how we might be stuck in a pattern, how to release the pattern. It just, when she started sharing to me about it, I just went, whoa, this is it. This is the base of everything. So today we're going to have a conversation around this topic. And Nirmala, I'll just let you dive straight in with it.
Thank you. Thank you, Daniel. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast. I know that in the few other podcasts that we have done is, we're always talking about flower of life. So I wanted to go a little bit more in detail about it today. And yes, it's sacred geometry. It's the key, and it's the attributes of who we are, who is completely about our being here in this earth. Right, so everything surrounded, as always I mentioned, is sacred geometry, and we are all bringing everything together from the time we have been in our mother's womb to the nature that we are looking at, looking at the clouds, animals, and everything. Everything is kind of collectively is within the sacred geometry. If you really look at it in detail, you can see every measurement, every specimen is a sacred geometry. It's all aligned together. We all are linked together. We all are connected. Yeah, so I really love the topic, and I thought that having the discussion with Daniel, and I thought that okay, let's have a little bit more clarity on the flower of life, and just exactly like how Daniel showed you the crystal. It's amazing, even holding the crystal when you are kind of in a confused state. Even if you hold the crystal and then resonate with it. You are in resonance with your sacred geometry. You are in resonance with the earth, with the nature, and everything comes into connection. And sometimes you can actually feel immediate effect, immediate calmness within you for a solution, outcome, or whatever that you're thinking of. All right. So let's start today. I did a little bit of homework this time, so that I'm not going to waste time in making some, drawings or whatever it is. So I kind of
already done.
worked it out. I kind of worked it out in that way. So that's easier. So I'm not focusing on writing, so I can start straight away into explaining. And I also got some stencils that I got. This time I actually posters in the house. So I thought, okay, they are not for any use, so I use them. So, all right, let's start. It's the flower of life is actually a divine blueprint. All right. So that is a divine blueprint. And what we are doing within the flower of life is all our experience, is how we are working through a lot of things that's happening within us. Usually the flower of life is 19 overlapping rings. So we'll have 19 of these. And I thought I don't want to go into that. It will be a complete workshop I'll be doing. So I thought I'm just going with the 7 rings. All right, the 7 rings and the reason why we are here. Yeah. Now, before that, do you have any questions before I jump into this, Daniel? Is there anything?
Well, what I would say is I can't see everything that's written on there. So if you want to, are you going to go through point by point, the top and the right? I can't. There you go. Yeah. Now I think we've got pretty much all of it.
Okay, good. Okay. You can see me now? Okay. Right. It's clear enough. So I'll be going through everything in sequence anyway. Okay. So all right. So most of the time, I mean, the flower of life is always overlapping circles. All right. So that means we are within the circles, we are within the Vesica Pisces, and then we jump through our experience and then we come back. Right. So the flower of life is like an Akashic record. All right. So that means in dimensional view, I look at it as an Akashic record. So every petals that we are looking at it is every design of us that has been settled from lifetime after lifetime. In this lifetime, being in the center, we are borrowing lifetime after lifetime sequence in here. So where we want to jump is where we are now kind of connecting to. So that's the reason I always tell everyone, if you want to do something, and if you're deciding to do something, have clarity, but be very clear about where you want to go and how you want it to transform. Yeah. If you're not sure about where and what and how, then it shows that you don't have the golden ball, you don't have the golden source in your hand. That's how I think of it. Yeah. So if you're very clear, like say for example, if you're very clear that this is what you're going to go and get, this is a pyramid, right? So it's a tetrahedron. So it's a selenite pyramid. So if, say for example, you want to get from one direction to another, you need to know how you're going to actually go up here, right? You need to know from here where you want to get. So you know that you're on the tip. You don't have to worry about how you're going to get there. All you need to know that from here, you want to get here. I'm asking you it's pretty simple. You need to know that you need to get here. Yeah. So if you tell me you don't even know, you're standing here, you don't even know where you want to get, that means that's something that you really need to think about. Because the minute you think about that this is who you are and this is where you want to be and this is how you want to be, in whichever way, you will transform it with your clear intention, right? So you can transform, you can start moving into that path. Now, when we are looking at a flower of life, your clarity is very important when you are in that space. Okay, it's like a mother's womb. There you already started your journey here. So in the mother's womb, everything is there. So your body already your physical body of consciousness is already aware. You already made the decision to be here. And it does do the part because the physical body of consciousness is all connected to your physical body itself. So it starts making sure vital bodies comes together. It makes sure that your vital organs, your brain, your liver, your lungs, everything comes into the process. And then it does start developing you. And then once you're out of the mom's womb, it starts doing all the processing as an individual that needs to happen. Yep. You grow in height, and then, you tend to start speaking. All these are part of the physical body of consciousness. It takes care of it because it's very clear, very clear. If a baby is born, the baby has to grow. Yeah. So everything has got its cycles. So where are we stopping when it comes to cycles? So there's no stopping. These circles will keep rotating. It keeps going on and on and on. So with the Akashic, and I'm saying the flower of life is Akashic record. For me, it is an Akashic record. It's because it's a divine blueprint. You make a choice in life when you're growing up. When you come to adulthood, that means you're in a completeness. You are in a completeness. From them, you're making a decision to complete what you came here for. Yeah. So when you are as an adult, you are in completeness. And from there, you're making decisions. Where are you going to step in life after this? Yeah. And I wish parents will kind of tell this to the children from the very beginning. Yeah. The minute you step they will always say, you're not ready for this, you're not ready for that. As parents, we know how many times we have repeated that. We keep telling you're not ready, but we're never telling them what they're ready for. The minute they're in their completeness, it's their decision, it's their life. Now they can flow through in free will and do what they want to do, what they're going to be, how they're going to be. That is the turning point for any individual, to have that full clarity that they can look at it and then they go towards it. Rather than being influenced by the society, by the culture, or by whatever it is that they are being influenced. All of us are influenced, hypnotized beings here. Yeah. So because from birth, we have already been programmed to say this, do this, and what we're supposed to do. And then from teenage life, we have been programmed by the other side. from the life. Okay, so now first we had the parents, the grandparents, and the family. Yeah, we grew up, and then the other side begins. Then we have a stretch of friends, teachers, family, society come into the part. Then we sit there and we say, okay, we want to be, I don't know, I want to be that person, I want to be this person. And then we start pointing things in a different angle. All right. So actually, you are there, you're complete, you can become whoever you want to become. That's the free will. So going back.
Before you go forward, so to clarify, the Akashic record, the way I understand it, this is your soul lifetime to lifetime, basically everything that's happened in the journey of your soul. So when you come in and you make the conscious choice this lifetime, right, the center of the circle, and the way I'm seeing the 6 around that, you're saying these are, past lives. Are there, people talk about past karmas, you didn't maybe break certain things in another life, you bring it into this life, or you did certain things that now you have to process through in this life. Can you talk a little bit about when you make the choice here, the influence that these other lives have, or are you bringing in gifts that maybe, you also had in other lives that now get to you learned up to here in that life, and now you take the learning to the next level in this life? Can you just speak a little bit to that?
Okay, so so we are going into the body, soul, and spirit here, right? So, okay, so we are coming here for a dimensional experience, right? So you are carrying in something that you have already brought in, yeah? So why I say this Akashic is because the minute you step into this earth, you take the initiative, not initiative, but the minute you concluded that you are going to be an earthly being, you're coming in for a human experience, you are coming in for your own experience, yeah? Your human experience is something that you come here to accomplish. Maybe in the previous lifetime, there's something that you have not done, or something that you have not, I like to put it this way. That means you have not completed your mission from the previous times. All right, there's something that you needed to complete, you didn't. Maybe you came here to feel love. In the previous lifetime, you didn't. So in this lifetime, you want to feel love. At the same time, maybe in the previous lifetime, you were dwelled in love all around. In this lifetime, you want to experience a little bit of hatred. It's not always the best that we look at. So hatred is not bad. As I said, it's part of your journey. So you came here to experience it. And the thing is that even through that experience, what you're trying to do is come out of it and reach towards the light. It's a training and experience process we are in right now as humans. Yeah, that's the human experience. So in that period of time, you are coming into that space where you're trying to understand that you are going into this aspect of this flower rhythm. It's like a harmonic synchronicity that you're going into. And because you forget when you're born, it's not you forget, you are remembered, I would say. It's not that you forget. So you come into this process to go into the depth of yourself to understand what is the reason you're here? What is your mission here? What have you came here to conquer? What are you here to complete? Yeah. So that is the reason you are here. So then you go into the flow of, that's the reason I'm talking about who you want to be. Yeah. What you're feeling right now, what you want to be, who you want to be. You don't have to be a protocol of what the society is. You don't have to be a program what the society is. So what do you want to be now destined? Which dimensions, which records are you going to go into? So the minute you're clear about it and you focus on it, you're reaching up to the destination. So that destination is all already recorded. All right, it's already been recorded. Somehow, I know the Akashic sounds like it's the past. It looks like it's something that you've done before. But for me, the Akashic is a universal recording of you from your organic truth self, right? So from that very beginning. So when I look at it in that way, it means not just the past, but also the future. You are going into the records of your future. All right. It's a very huge topic. I know that if I go into that, it's like You are the future. That means you're already existing in the future, and all you're doing is going in there, aligning with your future and saying, yes, that's what I want. That means you are kind of revisiting or visiting your old self in the future and looking at yourself and say, yes. And that's what you're doing when you have a clear intention. You're always thinking of the future. Yeah. I want to become a great leader. Okay, so where are you going with the great leader? Because you're touching on the space of your future. That means you are in the future. So where's the future? It's happening right now. It's right now as we speak. It's amazing when you touch the flower of life, because it tells you everything that you want to know about life in here.
Yeah, I love the visual that you give with it, because all the teachings I've ever heard on manifesting and like creating your reality and getting yourself where you want to go, they all say, you know, feeling is the secret. You've got to be it now. But your explanation, to me, it's like refreshing. I've never heard it explained in this way, and to have the visual of it all, it just makes sense to me. It gives the clarity in my own mind.
Yeah, fantastic. And how many times you heard people tell you, you know, they come into the session, this is the job I'm doing, but I always feel like I'm this person. Yeah. How many times, you know? So that job that they're doing is kind of a patent program information, and they think that they have to tick the checklist and they become. There's nothing wrong about it. That's also part of their qualification process for them to go through the experience, right? But then now they understand, but they're more than that. Is understanding their human experience is more than that. Yeah, to become whoever you want to become, to be who you want to be. Where you find happiness, where you find the passion is where it stands. That's where it is. The whole thing is surrounding in that. The minute you know what you're here for and you're passionate about, and you know that this is where this is the direction you're taking, you go completely into that space without even realizing. It's like that dimension completely pull you into that space immediately. So how many times we saw young people, you know, they think of it and bingo, they're there so straight away, you know, no left and right thinking, just I'm going there, and that's it. Yeah, and they jump into that space. And you had something, your question, Danielle?
No, it just, what keeps resonating in my mind so much is that it's an inside job. Like the power is sitting within us, the potential to take our life in whatever direction. And I think, at least for me, for a long, long time, I always felt it was the external world that was sort of guiding me and shaping me. And, you know, that was going to make the decisions of what I could and couldn't do, the job I could or couldn't get, the degree, you know, that I needed to have. Like, there's just so much that I always put into the world. Like, I didn't have this knowledge. I didn't realize that, no, my soul, you know, came here with a blueprint and with a plan for what this life was going to look like. And the more that I just go internal, the more I can tap into that. And that's the secret to then, you know, creating the world from the inside out. This is so powerful.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, thank you. It's like nothing has changed. We all come in and we purposely come into that family that, you know, because we ask for the challenges, because without the challenges, we are not going to grow. We wanted that sort of disciplined, strict parents to be with us, because so that we can jump the fence and say, okay, I've done it, so this is what I'm going to do different, you know, and this is what we do. It's not that it's anything wrong with the parents. It's just that your journey is different, and of course your parents will understand ultimately when you reach that journey, right? So as much as parents are the teachers, you are the teachers for your parents. Don't forget that. How many times we have listened to parents saying that I didn't know such thing existed until I saw my child, you know, shifted into that space. You know, how many times parents have come to an agreement? Before that, they were just part of the society in judgment space. Most of the time, children are the one who removes the parents from judgments. Yeah, right. In their head, there's a perfection line they have ticked, and when the children go into the tick, the parents become holding that space of judgment even stronger. So it's easy for them to judge other children compared to their own children. In a lot of societies, we see that a lot happening. But the minute your child jumps the fence and you understand that it's existing, you will let go of that judgment. You have to let go of that judgment, right? Because the dimensional space that evolve in that flower of life is amazing, because every circle is an experience. You come here to complete the circle of experience. You cannot go in. There's a reason in the flower of life, the circles actually overlap. The circle I drew here is actually the egg of life, or the seed of life, the 7. All right, the 7 that I drew here is about the egg of life. The egg of life doesn't overlap, but they touch each other. They touch each other. That means you can be in 2 places at one time. Yeah, they touch each other. You can cross over. That is the egg of life. And within the flower of life, we have the seed of life, we have the egg of life, we have the fruit of life, and then we have the tree of life. You know, every aspect of that is a huge topic. Okay, so I am kind of touching on the egg of life, mainly because you have the options here. It's just like 2 people being in one place, you being in your mother's womb, right? The egg of life. Okay, so you are here and you are there and you're connected. You are in together. You know, you cannot separate yourself until your mom says, okay, you're ready to come, and until you say you coming into agreement with that. There's an agreement in place between both of you. Then you come into this earth. Without that agreement in place, there's nothing's going to happen. Yeah. So I like the story of the egg of life, how the whole perception goes, right? I know, Daniel, you got 2 scenarios to ask me. I think I like to cover everything about flower of life. Maybe in the next episode we can talk about the 2 questions you have, if you allow me. Yeah,
that's perfect. Set the stage, and then we'll have a part 2. That's perfect.
Yeah. So you can now ask any questions in regards to this before I go to the next, the cycles and changes and all that. Is there anything else that you are thinking about?
No, I think I'm ready for you to dive in. And if a question pops in, I'll jump in.
Okay, the flower of life has got 19 overlapping rings. Everything has got information. The 19 number is something is resonate in very beautiful formation for me, right? So within the flower of life, we do mention the records that we keep. Okay, the flower of life is like a blueprint of every information we require. When you are born here, you came with all this information. It's accessible. Everything is accessible. You know, nothing separates you. Everything is accessible. But we are kind of trapped in this pattern where we think that if it's not possible for others, it's not going to be possible for us. That perception has already been kind of molded into us. Yeah, if it is not possible for others, it's not possible for us. So in family surroundings and environment surroundings, we find that when we step out of it and we say that this is what I'm doing, how many times there's critics? You know, what is she doing? What is wrong with her? You know, how many times, you know, someone who does, you know, we've got a lot of major university around the world. Yeah, but then you go and choose a university that is completely very different and is talking about something that you are passionate about, and then you qualify in the field, and then you create and you say that this is what you've done. How many times the society says, no, if I don't see it, that means it's not existing. Yeah, that judgment always overlaps with the society. But when you understand that you are in your path, you kind of go into a free will. So let me come into this. Okay, the flower of life consisting of the seed of life, egg of life, fruit of life, and tree of life. The fruit of life, everybody thinks the flower of life starts from seed of life, you know, which is not true. Actually, it starts from the fruit of life. All right, I'll explain to you why. When you see a tree, the tree is already there. So for me, the tree over here is the blueprint. And then the fruit falls from the tree. All right. When the fruit drops, there's a seed again. And through that seed, another tree grows. And this is the experiences that we go through. Or we can say the blueprint and lifetime. So you just drop, become a seed, you go through that, you have branches, you've got leaves, and then you grow into an old tree, and then drop again, and then drop again. So this is the scenario of the fruit of life. All right. So the fruit has to drop. Again, I like to phrase it in another way as well. When you know that you are in your organic self, before the fruit drops, that means you're already grown up. As I said, you're in completeness as an adult here. Yeah. just now I mentioned you're an adult here. Your intention, your clear intention, who you really are, is here in this fruit. The minute the fruit drops, it start creating, it start manifesting, it start transforming into this beautiful tree, because this is what you are creating here. This is you. Yeah. So this is what exactly you are doing. All right. It can be explained in so many ways, the fruit of life. So that is the fruit of life. That means from the tree, when the tree is dropping into the ground, and the seed is now going through a germination and beautifully coming up as a tree. It doesn't have to be a beautiful story all the time, does it? When your intentions are here, is what you're creating here. And how many times your intentions in your thoughts are so clear? How many of them have very clear thoughts that I know I'm perfect, I know I'm fantastic, I know I'm here for a mission, I'm not going to be affected by anything. I'm just going to flow through this life because I know I'm just going to allow it, I'm going to allow the flow. Yeah. And how many times, people have created a seed of animosity, create a seed of violence. Everything is here. The story that you're creating. The fruit is, for me, is the intention. It's your future story. Right? It's the future story. Yeah.
Right. And when you say the future's now, that visual makes it all make a lot of sense. Because you're creating that seed. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, that's it. So always go back into your thoughts. Everyone talks about it. Every great people around the world are talking about your thoughts. What is it? Why this emphasizing so much on that? It's because of this. It's here. What you're creating here. Some of them are very beautiful thoughts, very good intention, but the fear comes in or the doubt comes in and they say that, no, I have very clear intention. But what happens if my son is crossing the road and he got in an accident? That is also part of your thoughts you're creating.
Right. Yeah. And what just hit me too is, well, if you're not sure, because some of it's subconscious, right? Some programming and thoughts that kind of run that we don't know what seeds we're planting. But if you look at the results, if you look at the trees that are turning up in your life, you can very much then see the seed that it's coming from. You can reverse engineer it. That's powerful.
And the nature is the best example. They don't do any of the mumbo jumbo that the humans does. Look at the tree. A tree grows. A good example is a banana tree. You plant a banana tree, it just straight away start building babies all around it and say, now children start growing. And they grow and they grow and they grow. You can see they don't have this stopping, or they're very clear what is their mission for here, what they're here to do. They're supposed to germinate, and then they're supposed to have strong, tall branches, trunks, and leaves, and they just go, they just magnify everything, they transform. They are the good example for us. We are connected to them. We are learning from them. Yeah. So you can see how the sacred geometry of the human life and us are so connected. Now, that's the fruit of, in brief, that's the fruit of life. There's more details to it. The fruit of life comes with 13 overlapping circles, okay? And there's a huge reason behind it as well. Now, the next one is the seed of life. The seed of life is, as I said, it's sitting in here when the fruit drops, and the fruit, just like human life, once we are done, our body, it disappears, and then only our energy is left behind, isn't it? So just like that, when you're looking at the seed of life, when the fruit drops, now the seed now starts to grow again. All right. So the seed is growing again, and then it's coming to a tree, and then it's growing again. Every time the seed touches a place, it's a different thing. It is expanding every time a seed comes in. The seed that dropped from here is different to the seed that's dropping from this tree, and the seed that drops from here is different to coming from this tree. We are changing. We are in evolution, right? So we are changing as our experience are changing. All right. The seed of life has got 7 circles in it, and they are also kind of overlapping circles. All right, except for the egg of life. The egg of life has 7 circles, but they don't overlap, but they touch each other to show that we all are connected through this experience to allow the flow. So everything is interconnected with each other. So where we are starting from is where we are going to now make our cycles or our life to move forward. Now, within the flower of life, within the seed of life, egg of life, fruit of life, or tree of life, when you look at it, the dimensional experience is what we all are here for. We are here for a dimensional experience. We observe the cosmic pattern and we do everything according to our dimensional experience, right? So we make an agreement, we very consciously do this, right? So we make an agreement, we come here, you know, and then we make commitments very consciously. A lot of people do commitments very consciously, going into a relationship, having children, going into the society, being part of the environment. They make very conscious decisions, right? So this is where I say that we are a cosmic pattern. We are coming here for a dimensional experience. Now, our dimensional experience is not just to sit and wait. We come here for a human experience. All right. So if someone come and tell me, why such difficulty in my life? Why me? Is that when they ask me that question, I like to rephrase it in that way that when you made a decision to come here, you already made a decision to take challenges. The challenges is only given to people who can accept it, who can acknowledge it, and who can actually work on it. Challenges is not for everyone. Challenges, different types of challenges is given to different individuals based on their strength. So if you have that challenge in front of you, it means you got that strength to take that kind of challenges. It's just like a warrior. All right. It's just like an army soldier, the first guard, second guard, and third guard, when we look at them, right? So the corporal, the commando, the lieutenant, you know, and the first guard. So everybody got different challenges. It's given according to their strength. So you have already kind of restored that, and you say, you accepted this challenge in this lifetime. So don't go into that question. Always look into the way, I'm already in that. How am I going to progress now, since my other dimension is really waiting for me to now pass through? How am I going to make it through? Is the question you need to ask. And then you start learning what is that you're holding in this space, what you are not letting go, and what is that's kind of working on you in this strength. And that I can explain to you through the scenarios when you come into it, all right? And I'll try to quickly finish these 3 now. I know we're running out of time. And we also came here for the cycles of change. We didn't do it in the other previous lifetime or the other dimension. We don't know which planet we came from. We don't know what kind of being we were, but we came here for cycles of change. Yeah. So we accepted, we jumped into this lifetime because we are now going to go into the cycles of change, and only through collective consciousness. You can only achieve that through collective consciousness. You cannot do that as an individual, just standing and say that I'm the only one existing in this whole lifetime. I'm the only one who's supposed to get everything. I'm the only one who's supposed, there's no way. Even for the top leaders, they need people to consider as leader, right? They are at the top, but they can't do this alone. Collective consciousness, remember that you all have to be together with one, right? The cycles of life, always understanding that you are an intelligent being. You know, the other beings are looking at us. You know, humans are very intelligent beings. And whether are we using our intelligence here, or we're just borrowing ideas from everywhere, saying that I can't go unless that person moves. There's no such thing. Okay, and the last one is boundaries. Wherever you are, if you don't set boundaries, you cannot jump, you cannot pop over, because when you don't set boundaries, you always have this energy that's around you that pulls you to where they want you to go rather than where you want to go. So it's the decision you've got to make, where you're going to set the boundaries. Okay, understanding it's free will. You are here on free will. You can be whoever you want to be. You can be whatever you want to be. You can be however you want to be. Okay. In saying that, I think yeah, our interconnections of life and all, we are interconnected, and we are all beings. All right. So I think yeah, maybe in the next episode I can explain this more in detail with the scenarios that I can put this aspect into life, and I can maybe give you more explanation. I'll leave it with you, Daniel.
Yeah, well, I just look, it's so incredible to me, Nirmala, because we go through life, we all have these experiences, but the language that you use to talk about it and the way you see things, right? Because you see the geometry of everything. And looking at that, I always think about, like when you said, you know, you have to go through the challenge to get to the next, right? You have to become more, you have to learn in order to move to the next, you know, piece of your life. I've always said, like, out of the comfort zone is where the magic happens, right? And so many people have that visual of like, here's the comfort zone and magic happens right outside of here. But this visual is so interesting because it's like, it also cycles. Like there's really no end to it. It's like, okay, now we're in here. We're going to have our next challenge to move here. And then the next challenge to move here. And it's just, it's a beautiful visual. So I'm excited to be able to ask you. I think through case studies, through scenarios, all of this really can get rooted into the practicality of what it means in our life. So I look forward to that conversation. Anything else before we wrap up?
Yeah, I mean, very beautiful things that you, that's why I'm saying when you start asking questions, we can keep going and going and going.
The best part.
We have to be mindful of the audience, you know, how far they have time to watch this. So you know, the experience, the challenges gets easier and easier. You know, actually, people like some people, especially, you know, me, I love challenges. When I see challenges, that means I'm breaking through something exciting is now starting.
Beautiful perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's exciting when you see challenges. You should be excited when you have challenges right in front of you. That means you're winning, not really winning. You are now actually going into an expansion and manifesting, and you're going into a huge transformation.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well, that's a good note to end on. Well, everyone, welcome to this community of spiritual beings, all looking to amplify their human experience. We're grateful for you for tuning in. And remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell for notifications. And as always, share with your friends. Until next time, have a beautiful day, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.